What? What was that? What was
uh,
that nonsense?
that was the count up to the countdown.
Oh my goodness. You're freaking me out, Joe.
Yeah, I'm showing off my counting skills. I can count
You
up and down.
wow, forwards and backwards. That's wow. I'm impressed.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
hi everyone.
Hey.
We are live. So, surprise, Joe. We are
Ah,
live. So,
I knew
welcome,
it.
welcome to Free for All Friday. I mean,
Thank
well,
you.
this is the Double Cup of Joe show, but yeah, Joe, welcome to Free for All Friday.
Thanks for the
Um,
welcoming.
yes, yes, thanks for being here.
You
Um,
know, I try. I try my best.
you, good, good.
You look good today, Joe. You got that look on your face. The good one.
This one.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Time to just sit here awkwardly. Um,
Awkward silence time begins now.
Perfect. Well, welcome everybody. This is the Double Cup of Joe show. I am your host, Joe.
And I'm your host, Joe.
You trying to, man, you're sitting very still there, Joe.
It was awkward silence time.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It was awkward and it was silent. Um, hey, if you haven't been here before, Friday is one of our favorite days. Um, right along with all the other days that end in Y. So, um, because we get to talk about your guys' topics. This is Tuff's topic. I haven't seen him yet. It is goodbye dot dot dot.
By
Yep.
dot dot dot.
Yep. Who knows?
Um
Who knows what it's about? We try with these topics to kind of go in as blind as we can. When we have things like the mind body problem, it's probably nice to talk about the topic that's actually there and not just random stuff. So we do just enough research to know what the topic is, not
yeah.
necessarily know all about the topic. So I think that makes it a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, and hopefully you guys enjoy that too. But we will get to that. But we got to start where we normally start. All of
Yeah.
these shows.
First, well, I gotta ask, Raka is coming up with new words. Incredentious. Is that someone who is without credentials?
Yeah, I would see.
Would
I would
is that
tend to
an
think so.
incredentious person?
Yep.
Well, Joe, you are not incredentious.
Not incontentious. You are not, no, no, not,
Wouldn't it be
not.
funny? You know how they keep coming up with new like we have BSS dot studio, and we latched onto that when they released that as a dot studio as a thing. You know, they had dot media, dot studio, dot, replacing or in addition to the dot coms and dot orgs and all that kind of stuff, right? What if they just started adding dots and that changed the
Dot, dot,
URLs?
dot, dot,
Like,
dot, dot, dot.
so then you got to remember how many dots you put in there. Oh, that'd be
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the reason on that is because of that reason.
the reason is that reason. That reason is the reason. Yes.
So, well, anyway, uh, yes, be careful with your dots. That's all we have to say. And
Yeah.
you know how you are most careful with your dots.
How are you most careful with your dots?
Yeah, well, I don't know actually. So let's
How am
just
I
do the
most
three
careful
step
with
routine.
my dots?
Uh, because I don't know, Joe. How are you most careful with your dots?
I don't know. That's what I was asking. You said how are you most careful with your dots?
Yeah, that's a question.
How am I wait.
Got him.
Ah, dang it. I'm supposed to be a morning person.
I, me too. You know, we should just do the three-step routine. Maybe that'll wake us up.
Okay.
All right,
Moving
cool.
on. Yes.
Yes. I have three questions for Joe who's playing the bongos. Oh,
I got a crank on my desk to crank it up and down, and I whacked my hand on
oh,
it.
interesting. My desk does not have a crank. It does have a fidget spinner and other miscellaneous junk that I have not removed from it yet.
Man, remember fidget spinners were all the rage?
Yeah.
Man, now they're not.
Man, that was a fat item if I've ever seen one. Like, what in the world?
Yep. In and then gone, like quickly.
Yeah,
But
kids did not enjoy that for forever. I thought they were supposed to be like to help people with like ADD and stuff.
yeah, but then
And
everybody just got one.
yeah, everyone just ended up with one, and then they started making like these really just ridiculous designs on them. So it's
Yep.
like, yeah, we were okay when it was just like a thing that they could mess with that wasn't distracting. But now you have like four airplanes simultaneously taking off from this spinning platform,
Yep. And
and
it's
then
got lights and blinking flashing. So
yeah.
if you have an ADD kid, they are definitely paying attention to the fidget spinner and not what they're supposed to be paying attention to.
Yep.
Anyway, what do you think? 3-step process?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Let's go, man.
All right.
Be good.
It's three steps. You ask yourself three questions in the morning.
3 of
One
them.
of them is not what Raka said. That was close. How are you most careful with your dots? That's close. The real first step one question is what are you thankful for? So maybe it's for being careful with your dots. Who knows? Step number two is what are you looking forward to? It's the future. Future step.
The
Looking into the
future.
future.
The distant future. The year 2000.
Yep. The year 2000. Yep. That year that was before Joe was born.
Anyway, anyone
So,
who knows that reference, I
Jeff.
would be impressed.
And then step number three is, of course, the present day step of what you're going to do today to move your life forward.
Yes.
So you got to do them all. You can't do half of them because there's three, so it's actually literally impossible to do half. And you can't do one because that would just not be right. So do all three steps. It's going to get your mind going in the right direction. Hopefully, it'll get our minds going in the right direction, or at least mine, because it's a little bit early. So, without further ado, Joe, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful that I am never, ever, ever, ever bored
Wow.
because I always have a list a mile long of stuff I have to do. And so I'm never, ever bored. I'm thankful for that to-do list that continues to stack up and stack up. It's amazing.
Interesting. Okay. Well, if that's, whatever floats your boat, as they say in the water. Anyway, Jeff is thankful for the longest daylight day of the year.
That's today and like tomorrow and stuff, right?
I guess so. So, guys,
Daylight
you get the most sun today that you will ever get in your life. I mean, in a single day.
this year.
This year. Raka says he's thankful for his eyes. They're still functioning for a collective time of at least 15 minutes of staring at the sun. Well, that's a little interesting. I'm glad your eyeballs are still working too. I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say probably shouldn't stare at the sun.
Jeff, did you
Just a
look
thought.
that up? You probably must have looked it up. He's so resourceful. I never know if Jeff actually knows it. Well, if it comes down to like a song, from some weird song from back down in history, and he knows it, that doesn't surprise me one bit because he's been in radio and music and been a DJ for decades. And but sometimes he just pulls stuff out of his hat and he's like, "Look at this," and I'm like, "You probably Googled that." Yes. But you are absolutely right. Flight of the Concords, robots. That is where the distant future, the year 2000, comes from.
Alrighty then. Well,
Sorry, did I distract you, Joe? Did I
no,
interrupt you?
no, not at all. Not at
Can I
all.
interrupt you?
You can't interrupt
Can I
me.
continue to interrupt you?
Yes.
Can I interrupt you while you're talking?
No.
Can I interrupt you while your dog is talking?
Yes. Well, my dog is talking. He's like sleeping, so
Ow. Dogs. All they do is eat and sleep and love you.
man, that's the dream.
Yes.
Anywho, so yeah, that's step number one, being thankful. Keep doing thankful things.
Hmm.
Step number two is, of course, what are you looking forward to? Joe, what are you looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to?
Yep.
Uh, you know, see, that's a good question. I've got a lot of things. It's like, you ever have that trouble where you've got a lot of things and you got to pick one? It's like my never-ending to-do list. Like I have to like pick something out of that to do. And so then I have to prioritize. So let's see. So I'm looking forward today to beginning work on this show in particular.
Hmm.
Well, maybe not this actual episode, but the Double Cup of Joe show. To work on it, to work on creating nice edited good content that's then releasable to YouTube and everything like that. I'm looking forward to developing that system and creating it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
Apparently, from what we've heard from Jeff, and Joe apparently can do it too. I can't. Is to make us sound smart. I don't know this wizardry. It sounded impossible when they first suggested it, but
You know, I'm not as good at it as Jeff is.
hmm,
Usually the way I edit stuff, it sounds like random hatchet thoughts coming out. And so it doesn't sound smart. Jeff actually makes everything sound coherent and beautiful and amazing. He's just got this way of doing it that's outstanding. I
Jeff's
just
got
chop
the big brain.
I have the audio chop shop over here. I'm just like
The audio chop shop. Beautiful. Yes. Just grind it up. We'll get it to where we want it. Oh,
You think
well.
that's bad, you should see the video version.
I remember
You get all these kind of weird things like that. Oh.
that. Nice, Joe. Yeah, video editing and audio editing sounds like Max Headroom. I mean, sounds like a very difficult thing. So I'm glad we have professionals, people who know that kind of stuff.
Or people that pretend to be professionals anyway,
Yes.
which would be me. Jeff actually is a professional. He gets paid to do this for Michigan Business Network. That's what he does. Like, he knows. He knows his stuff, man.
It was all things.
Yeah.
I do not know all the things, so all I know is that we've got one more step to go because I'm an accountant and I can keep track
There's
of
3.
things. Yep. There's 3 steps. We've done 2. We
2.
have 1 left.
3.
Yes. Yes. So, Joe, since you know what step we're on, I assume you know the question.
What's my favorite color?
Yes.
Blue. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Anywho, so yeah, Joe, what are you gonna do today to
What am
move
I
your
going to
life
do
forward?
today?
Yep.
Well,
Oh,
today,
not done.
today I do have a few inspections I have to do, unfortunately. It is bulk. It's that time of the month when all of our orders just come in. And we lovingly refer to it as that time of the month. And it's wonderful. So we get there and I have all these stuff that I have to do. So, but it's not as many as yesterday. Yesterday I did like 108 inspections. Today is far less. I'm not exactly sure the number. Probably around 20. And so I should be able to knock that
Mm.
out in about half a day. Then I can get to work on what I'm looking forward to, step number 2, which is actually taking some old episodes of Double Cup of Joe and creating some episodes out of it to see how I can develop that system of video production. So
Mm.
that's what I'm going to do. And maybe, just maybe, I'll have some spare time to play Minecraft with my kids. Super duper fun. I can do it right from my office.
Mm.
Awesome.
Minecraftiness.
Which, Minecrafting with my kids is great because I go around and I look for stuff. I look for, all the resources and everything. And I always find coal and I'm like, yes, it's coal. I get so excited about coal because you need coal for everything. They're like, Dad, coal is so dumb. I'm like, you like it when you need to smelt some iron or cook some food.
Mm-hmm.
Just take my coal. You need some torches? You need coal.
Mm.
One of the most useful things there. What they gotta do, man. But they're always excited, like I'll find some diamonds or something in them. Like, oh, Dad, let me transport to you and mine them for you and take them. I know you just did all the work to find them, but
I'll mine
I'm gonna
them
take
for
them.
you, and then take them. They sound like roving bands of pirates, not children.
it's it's so true. That's what it is because I'll be down in a cave system. I'll be like digging gravel and dirt out of this area, and then finally I'll like uncover this little patch of diamonds or something. And then they'll be like, "Dad, share your screen." And I'm like, "Okay, share my screen." And then they're like, I'm teleporting to you." And all of a sudden they show up. They take them, and then they teleport away.
Hmm. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you got robbed, like legitimately robbed. These
That's all right.
they sound like the people who hack you. Like, you share your screen with me, and now I'm taking things. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, they want me to share my screen so they have visual proof that I actually found them, because sometimes I'll pick on them. I'll be like, "Ooh, look at this." And they're like, "What? What?" They're like, "Nothing. It's coal."
Hey, you just gotta punish them with the diamonds, and they come over, and then you're like, ha, trapped.
What I'll do is I'll take a screenshot of, I'll get a screenshot of me in front of some diamonds and I'll post it and then I'll like open up that picture and then I will share that image. And then when they actually teleport to me, there'll be nothing. They'll be like,
Full troll.
I'll be sitting in some lava and all of a sudden they'll start to die.
Or what you
Uh,
do is one day when they're not paying attention, you get a bucket of lava, and then you dig out like a spot right in front of their door to their house, and then just dump it in there.
ooh. That's mean.
Yeah, well, it's better
Like,
than burning down their house.
yeah, yeah. Set a trap in front of their door so they jump in it by accident.
All
You
right,
make it
we're
too big of a gap for him to jump over. Anyway, this is
hmm.
not a show
Yeah,
about Minecraft.
oh yeah, I guess we're apparently we're going to Minecraft today. Tef, you've elected not to hang out with us for this show. Anyway, guys, that was the three-step routine. Go ahead and do that every day. Do it a little bit more concisely than we just did. It'll give
Yeah.
you the opportunity to really think about each of your answers and why you picked those. That's really going to help you day in and day out to set your mind in the right direction and be consistent. So, we jump around a lot so that we're not giving the same answers like day in and day out, but it's okay to do that. Um, we're trying to put on a show that isn't exactly the same for you every single day. But if you are doing the three-step routine, it's okay to do that. To be thankful for the same things and also to be driven on one specific goal. That can actually be a really good thing. So, uh, just wanted to point that out. Anyway, on to our topic. Tef is now here. He got up and he worked up or out. Who knows? But now he's lurking. So now that he's lurking, we're going to talk about his topic. It is goodbye. Um, so because I haven't fully read the thing, I was going to pass it off to Joe, but that would just be
Oh,
mean because
you're
what I'm
pass it
actually
off to me to read?
no, I'm going to read it.
Oh, you're gonna read it. Okay,
Yes, I'm
cool.
going to pass it off to you after I read it.
Oh, after read it. If you guys want to read along, here's the link.
Joe has a linky thing for you.
Yes, there it is. And I noticed it's a momentous occasion today. I
Ooh.
opened up Double Cup of Joe and I see a post from Joe, the first post ever,
Yeah, the first post I've ever made on this webpage.
ever on, yes, and he's posted on just about every page on this website somewhere multiple times, but this is the first time he's posted this particular page.
Yes, I have a free for all
Man,
Friday topic. It was provided
whoa,
by one of my coworkers. So,
yes, that's cool.
oh yeah, that's coming up here in the next few weeks. But we got some other stuff, some plenty of other things provided by you all that we really appreciate. So I'm looking forward to doing those. Feel free to hop out from that spot and add some more things you might have thought of, or feel free to drop them in the chat. We'd love to add them for you. So,
Yes.
without further ado, this is goodbye dot 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 from
By
Tef.
dot dot dot
Dot dot dot. The
dot dot
number of
dot
dots
com.
is important. Yeah, dot 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 dot. All right, here's what Tef says. Tef says, "Have you ever tried to say goodbye? A solid goodbye, not a goodbye world, but a goodbye. Gonna see you again." Over time, we as humans say goodbye a lot. Family when leaving home, friends when we separate, colleagues when work is done, fellow students after school, animals when they are going to the farm, guests and shoppers who visit the stores. Because over time, people get accustomed of saying goodbye. Ciao, farvel, see you later, bye bye, now leave my plane. Like lousy kids. Thanks for dropping by. Get home safe, etc. So they lose meaning. I have come to a point in life where goodbye no longer means something, but I still say it out of social politeness. And this made me think, what is a healthy goodbye?
That is an excellent question. And this is the first time I'm reading this. I made sure it was like a Christmas present where like I unwrapped it on the day of, because I was like, ooh, this could mean so many things. Because really it can mean so many things. Goodbye can mean a lot of things. And I was kind of nervous, like here's Tef. I was like, the first time I read the topic title, I'm like, goodbye. I'm like, that mean he's not gonna come to the stream anymore, and he's just like making it official, and he's waiting for the topic, and then he's poof, gone, never coming back again. And I'm like, I don't know. I hope that's not the case because I don't like having you around. Um, but at any rate, I think when I hear the word goodbye, a lot of times I think in terms of a permanent goodbye or a very, very long term goodbye, where it's like when somebody actually says the word goodbye, that means we're kind of like closing a door and we're moving on in a different direction, and like leaving behind whatever person, place, or thing, or whatever that it was. You know, think about we talk about saying final goodbyes. We talk about at funerals, it's like you're saying goodbye to that person. So I always like the term "see you later," that's in there, because a lot of times that just means, hey, we're gonna get together again. I'll see you later.
Hmm.
And that to me seems a lot more like you were talking about, like, but a goodbye, gonna see you again type of mentality where I I don't like to just cut off a relationship, forever unless I have to. But there are times when it's appropriate because you're not going to see someone for a long time, or they're moving to a different phase of their life, and we're not going to be spending as much time together. And so at that point, that could be the healthy, strong, solid goodbye, um that I kind of take from the word. But that's interesting. It is a socially polite thing. And I guess you say bye on the phone. I do say that half the time. But a lot can be inferred in that. Like if I'm on the phone with my wife and she says bye in a certain tone, then I'm like,
No,
uh-oh.
I'm not hanging up.
That means look out for next conversation. Like you better be ready for the wrath that cometh. And usually, like in terms of those conversations, bye is like a kind of a scary word. But I don't know. I usually try and keep things open. I usually try and, when I'm dealing with another person, it's always like, hey, our paths are going to cross again. And especially now because we have digital communication that's so prevalent, and we can be in contact with people all the time. It's not like it was before the internet was so prevalent. When you said goodbye to somebody, it might mean you're not going to talk to them for a really, really long time. And just because you're not going to have the ability to. But now everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got and that's like a little mini computer in their pocket. So like there are like umpteen bazillion different ways for you to stay in contact with people. And with that, it's like we never really have to say goodbye permanently because, you know, we can always talk again. But I don't know. I think a healthy goodbye leaves the door open to future contact, unless it's in terms of like a death or something where we're actually saying goodbye to that person. And then it's like we're kind of, tying up those loose ends of, and we're just kind of in our hearts, we're kind of preparing our hearts for not being in contact with them physically anymore. So to me, a healthy goodbye always includes, hey, like you said in your first sentence, a goodbye, gonna see you again, and I look forward to that. So that's what I have to get started. Joe, what do you got?
Yes, it would. I think it's very important that you don't try to contact dead people anymore after when you say goodbye. Anywho,
No seances are frowned upon generally.
goodbyes are a very interesting thing, Joe. I think you made a lot of good points there with the. Or well, actually, I'm reading Jeff's stuff here too. I'm trying not to confuse it. Jeff's talking about like ending a relationship by saying goodbye.
Okay.
Um, and he's talking about, I think in this instance, both like death and like just being done with your relationship with a person.
Mm.
Um, that can be really healthy. What Jeff's talking about, it can be very healthy to say, "All right, goodbye," and then not see somebody again ever, even though they're still alive. Like there are those relationships where you have to say goodbye. I'm leaving because it's better for the both of us. If I'm not here. So I mean, in terms of what makes a healthy goodbye, there are a lot of things. Healthy goodbyes come in all shapes and sizes and forms. It can be pretty healthy to just say goodbye when you're leaving your friends for the night that you're gonna see later on in the week. I think the big thing here, Tef, based on your conversation, based on your post, is to rediscover the meaning of goodbye. Not that you shouldn't say it, but don't say it, um, without reason, without cause. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to just not say it a couple of times. Like just walk away and then go and then like kind of sit in that awkward feeling of like something about this doesn't feel right. Because it doesn't. Like you kind of like left it there. You left your conversation hanging. You left somebody hanging there without saying goodbye. And so a healthy goodbye really just is one where you're saying, this whatever we just got done doing, I'm grateful for. And kind of like Jeff said earlier on, just the phrase goodbye can mean all of the things that Jeff posted with a short little word. And so with a healthy goodbye, you're focusing primarily on telling that other person, hey, this was fun, this was good. I'm glad that this was a part of my life. So when I leave my friends, I think Joe picked see you later. Um, we later is just too long for me. I say see you soon. So it's important to know like how you're saying goodbye. Tough in this instance. Like you get to decide. Like you can choose. You don't have to just say goodbye out of reflex. In fact, it's preferable not to. It's preferable to, you know, kind of mean what you're talking about. Um, there's a um, I'm trying to think if this actually works the way I think it does. Anyway, there's a passage in the Bible where I think it's Jesus is talking about when you pray, don't just ramble on. Don't just say a bunch of words that end up being meaningless. But when you do it, have meaningful thoughts and meaningful words. And then he goes on to say what those meaningful thoughts and words would be. Um, and it's kind of like that um, when you're saying goodbye. Don't let it be meaningless because it's easy to do that. It's easy to let your goodbye just. I'm just doing it to be polite. Well, what's that? What's that for? Like, okay, that's fine that you're trying to be polite and all, but that kind of is kind of like lying. If there's nothing behind it, like why are you even saying it? You're just kind of putting on that pretext because it's the thing I should do. Like, well, if you don't want to, like, it's a really empty goodbye. So healthy goodbyes are primarily just goodbyes that you kind of believe in. Goodbyes that you're like, this is what I think. I'm thankful, like Jeff said, basically. If you read all of the block of Jeff's text and think, that's what I think when I'm saying goodbye. That's probably a good sign. So um, just just kind of think about why you're saying goodbye before you say it. And I think when you're thinking about it, you'll be like, oh, you know what? This is why I'm saying goodbye. I really like this about that person, or I really like this about the time we spent together. And so I think that'll be a really cool experience for you to enjoy. I'm gonna pass it back to Joe, who's got more wisdom, and I can stop rambling.
Well, you look good and you sound good. You got that voice today.
That voice.
Yeah, that beauteous voice. Interestingly enough, I was thinking as you were talking about this, and I'm like, I remember. I'm trying to think in terms of when goodbyes have been the most heartfelt for me, and I think honestly, um, if you guys if you guys don't know where Traverse City, Michigan is, you can Google it and look it up. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I mean, it's a resort town, and there's good reason for that because there's a lot of beauty, there's beaches and woods and sand dunes, and it's just gorgeous, right? And there's a lot of great stuff to do there. And I got to live there for like 4 years, or maybe longer. I'm trying to, yeah, about 4 years. I lived in Traverse City, and I remember when I moved away that goodbye was hard because I loved living there. I loved it. I loved, I'd work, I'd go to work. I was repairing band instruments for a job up there, and it wasn't a bad job. I got to tinker with my hands. It was kind of cool. Made decent money, and I got to live in one of the most beautiful places on earth. And I remember after work, I would go out and I would just drive. I would drive around and I would explore. I would explore beaches. I would explore wooded areas. I would explore just uh, there were cherry orchards and hop yards and all kinds of great stuff. I mean, and it was just an amazing place. And as I was driving away, after we had packed up the apartment and everything, and I was in a truck because I borrowed a pickup truck from my dad to help move everything, and we'd also had a U-Haul that my father-in-law was driving and everything, and like as I was driving away and I was looking in my rearview mirror at some of the picturesque views, I had this really, really heartfelt, like, man, I'm not gonna get to see this every day. Because every day when I would get up and I would go to work, I would come over this hill and I would see one of the most amazing views on my way to work of like both bays and the peninsula that juts out in between them, and then there's the city and everything. And I was just up on the top of this hill and I was looking down at all of it. And it was every day I got to see that. It was just so beautiful. And I remember driving away and I'm like, man, it's gonna be a long time till I see this place again. And it was. It was a couple months. And and then after that it was, a year or 2. And then, so now it's kind of rare to get up there. But I remember saying goodbye and being like, man, this is kind of painful. There's like a little bit of a sinking feeling because, I'm actually saying goodbye to a place that I've found so wonderful and I've loved living there. But I was grateful for the time I had to spend there. Now, here's the interesting thing: the goodbye from the workplace that I was at there. I mean, these people were amazing people that I worked with. Now, some of them were very interesting people. I'm sure if you work with other people, you work with very interesting people and sometimes very wonderful people. But they knew how to say goodbye when people left that company. Like when people were leaving, they would throw this huge party. Everybody would bring food. I mean, like it was just this big, huge event. Like for the whole workday, it was like a party where everybody just ate lots and lots of bad for you foods, right? And and it was wonderful. They all tasted great. Everybody was so awesome about it. The funny thing about my goodbye party that lasted all day I had been up all night the night before packing my apartment because I was doing it by myself. And, when you're packing up to move, it takes forever. And I was up all night long, and taking little 20-minute naps, and then getting back up and getting back at it and working and working and working. And so, like, I finally crashed in the middle of the morning, and I didn't show up to my goodbye party until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Joe.
So they're like, everybody's like having this party. They're all eating. They're like, hey, if he's not showing up, we're gonna eat. And so they're all celebrating without me. And then finally I show up at 4. They're like, yeah, well, there's some stuff left over there if you want it. Like, nice, I didn't miss it all. And I was like, I felt really bad for missing the whole thing. But man, they were always so good about saying goodbye and making it a celebration of the time that you got to spend, because that's one thing about saying goodbye. It's not just like saying, okay, we're gonna cut off this relationship, but it's also you're celebrating the fact that you did get to spend that time together, right? And it's a wonderful, it can be a wonderful experience. I remember my uncle's funeral where we were all saying goodbye to my uncle, and there was the funeral service, which was beautiful and everything. And then afterward, we're all in the common area, whatever. We're eating the food and talking about stuff and everything, and it was just a wonderful time of reconnecting with all of those people. And that's exactly what he would have wanted. And so what happened was, it, it his goodbye turned into a connection point for all of his family members. And that's exactly what he would have wanted, which was awesome. So a goodbye can mean so many wonderful things, but I encourage, anytime you're letting go of something, to always remember step number 1 of the 3-step process, and that's the gratitude component. The thankfulness of, that time that you got to spend either with those people or at that place or doing whatever that was that you're doing. And when the time ends, you can look back and you're thankful that, hey, I got to do this wonderful thing and spend this great time with these people. And it was such a wonderful time. And those memories are going to last forever. And it can be a wonderful, beautiful thing. So goodbyes, even though they can be sad, if you turn them into a celebration of gratitude, it really, really solidifies those memories, leaves things on a really good note. It's a wonderful. That's what I got, Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
And I'm sorry to make you cry, Lilia.
Joe, you're so mean.
I know. I know. And Tef does say, I did stop saying goodbye. Then I got told I was unpolite. No, I'm saying it for polite reason. But remember, this is not a problem because then it would have been a Don't Worry Wednesday topic. Just a simple interest, a wonder, a question, ideology question. And hopefully, I really appreciate it. I appreciate digging down into these things and we can talk about, different aspects of stuff. Um, but yeah, hopefully some of that was good. Hopefully it met your expectations of our conversating about topics. But
Joe's over here giving out surveys. Meets expectations.
yes, that's right. On a scale of 1 to 5,
Yeah.
were you
So
greeted in a timely fashion? No, you guys didn't get here till 6:03.
yeah, why are you guys so late? But yeah, I mean, there's so much to this topic, and I love that we're able to have these conversations. We're able to go over the things that maybe on Don't Worry Wednesday we don't really get the time to. And it doesn't have to be a problem. Like the nice thing about this show is you can delve into some of these issues before you have problems. Because the end goal is that you don't want to. we generally as people like to not run into problems. So um, I highly recommend that you hang out here. That if you're ever dealing with something that you have an issue with, to go over to Don't Worry Wednesday. But um, tough whether or not it's a problem. Um, I'm just glad you're looking into it. I'm glad you're thinking about what you do. That's a pretty good sign. So thanks for sharing the topic. I think it was really good. I think it's something that we all need to consider is how do we say goodbye? How do you say goodbye to your friends and family? Um, and why? Why do you say goodbye? So again, I've said it a lot this week. I'm gonna probably say it next week, and I said it the week before. So um, keep a journal, keep track of what's going on in your life, because you'll be able to look back and go, oh, look at the progression of how I look at things. And that's going to be very useful for, like we talked about many weeks ago, planning where you want to go and correcting, doing, and adjusting. Those stuffs. Those stuffs.
All the 4 steps. The 4 steps of the 4-step routine,
yep.
as opposed to the 3-step routine. We got all kinds of steps, routines.
Yep. So far we're at 2.
2.
And thankfully they count. So it's 3, 4. But we have 2.
5
steps routine,
is right
and
out.
we're on 1 show. Yep. So anyway, speaking of goodbye, this is the end of the show.
Later.
Yeah, we're
I was figuring you're gonna speaking of goodbye, off. Cut yourself off.
Yeah, we would normally I would do that, but I still have a couple of shameless plugs that I have to do. Of course, it is Don't Worry Wednesday Friday edition. That is going to be on tonight. So, as true YouTubers, we must say, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you know when Don't Worry Wednesday goes live today on Friday. It sounds confusing, but it's really not. Just go show up, ask any questions you might have, and really get out there and learn something new. Maybe you don't have a problem, but Don't Worry Wednesday is a good way to learn how to help other people. So, really hope to catch you guys there. I think over on BSS streaming for Twitch, twitch.tv/BSS_streaming. They're going to be doing live streams this weekend, I believe. They play D&D or Heroes of the Storm or some other fun stuff that I don't know a whole lot about, but is really cool. And you can hang out, have fun in the chat. People are really goofy there. If you couldn't figure that out by how goofy we are here, people are really goofy there. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen when Jeff starts to do all this editing. When I look at all this stuff and going, that we aren't those people. who are these robot versions of us?
Dude, seriously, he's got a few of them in the
next
folder. Yeah, man, you should totally listen to him. Like he made us sound good. He shined us up nice.
And that takes a lot of work. In case you didn't see,
I mean, you've heard us talk.
Yeah, I've heard us talk a lot. So I have a pretty good experience to know that maybe Jeff worked real hard to get those done. Real hard.
If you think you've listened to us a lot, imagine how much Jeff has listened to.
Oh my! Even before, did you say TMI?
I said, "Oh my."
Oh.
I feel I will say prayers for his ears specifically.
Oh. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping out. It is lovely to have you. We look forward to seeing you again next week, where we're talking about patience.
Hold on.
We're talking about holding on.
Wait a minute. Have patience.
All right. Anyway, guys, goodbye.
Let's see.